Hey there. So, if the IELTS academic test is that one big thing standing between you and your dream university, you're in the right place. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain and demystify this whole process. We'll break down exactly what you need to know to walk in there with confidence and succeed.
So you're planning to study abroad? That is awesome! But you've probably figured out that it almost always means you have to prove you can handle the English language. And for most top-tier schools, that proof comes down to one very specific test.
And yep, you guessed it, that test is IELTS. It's designed to check out your real-world English skills in 4 big areas: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. This isn't about memorizing obscure dictionary words. It's all about how well you can actually communicate in a university setting. Now, the way they score this thing is a little different. It's not a simple pass or fail. Instead, you get what's called a band score, from 0 all the way up to 9. A 9 basically means you're an expert user. For most universities, the magic number they're looking for is at least a 6.5 overall. So let's keep that target in our sights.
All right, first up is the listening test. This is where your exam day kicks off, and it's all about how well you can follow conversations and talks in real time, grabbing those important details as they fly by.
So, the whole thing lasts about 30 minutes, and it's broken into 4 distinct parts that, you guessed it, get progressively harder. You'll hear everything from a casual chat to a full-on academic lecture. And here's the kicker, you only get to hear each recording one time. No replays.
Okay, here is a golden rule for this section. Use that little bit of quiet time before the audio starts to read the questions. This gets your brain ready so you know exactly what info you're listening for. And hey, if you miss an answer, don't freak out. Just move on to the next one. And please, if you're not sure, just guess. You don't lose points for wrong answers. Next up, we have the reading test. And let me tell you, this section is a flat-out race against the clock. It's not just about whether you can understand the text. It's about finding specific information and finding it fast. You have 60 minutes. That's it. 1 hour. In that time, you have to get through 3 long academic-style articles and answer 40 questions. Time management is everything here. I mean it. And these passages are no joke. They're pretty long. And just like the listening test, they get more difficult as you move from one to the next. You absolutely need a game plan to tackle these without getting totally bogged down. The absolute best strategy? Read the questions first. This completely changes the game. You stop being a passive reader and become an active hunter. You know what you're looking for. Skim the text to get the general idea, find the part that has your answer, and then read that section carefully. Okay, let's talk about the writing test. This is another 60-minute section, but it's split into 2 tasks that honestly could not be more different from each other. For task 1, you have to be like a reporter, objectively describing some kind of visual information, like a graph or a chart. But then, for task 2, you have to switch gears completely and become a debater, writing a formal essay where you present and defend an opinion. 2 very different skill sets. Now, pay close attention to this breakdown. It's recommended you spend about 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. So why the big difference? Well, it's because task 2 is worth more points for your final writing score. And definitely keep an eye on those minimum word counts. A huge mistake people make in task 1 is that they start analyzing the data, trying to explain why the numbers are what they are. That's not your job. Your job is just to describe what you see, report the main trends, point out the key features. For both tasks, trust me, spending just a couple of minutes making a quick plan will make your final answer so much clearer. And last but not least, we have the speaking test. I know, for a lot of people, this is the scariest part because it's a real face-to-face interview. But try to think of it this way. It's your best chance to really show what you can do with your communication skills. And here's the thing. It's over in a flash. The entire interview is only between 11 and 14 minutes long. It's short, it's structured, and it's all designed just to get a quick, clear sample of your spoken English. The test is neatly divided into 3 parts. It starts off easy with some simple questions about you. Then it moves into something called the long turn, where you get a topic and speak about it for a minute or 2, and it wraps up with a more general discussion related to that topic. You know, the most important thing here is to just be natural. The examiner wants to have a real conversation with you, not hear some speech you memorized. So expand on your answers, give some reasons, maybe an example, and if you don't understand a question, it is totally fine to ask them to repeat it. Okay, so we've covered the what.
Now, let's wrap up with the how. Because knowing the test format is great, but really preparing for it effectively, that's what's going to get you the score you want.
Honestly, the single best way to prepare is daily immersion. Don't just study, you gotta live the language. Read articles, listen to podcasts with all kinds of accents, and most importantly, actually practice speaking and writing regularly, especially under timed conditions. That's how you build real skill and confidence. And check this out. This really shows what's possible. It's not something that happens overnight for sure, but with focused, consistent work over a couple of months, you really can see a huge jump in your score. You can do this. So there you have it, the IELTS academic test, totally demystified. We've laid out the structure, the strategies, and the path forward. You've got the map. The only question left is, are you ready to take that first step?